Hi guys, Josh here and welcome to Snapshots. Today we're looking at the types of film you can get and what you'd use them for, why they're different. It's not going to be crazy in depth, but I'm just going to kind of explain it to you so you know whether you want to use this film stock or not. But I reckon give every film stock a try. But here I'm going to help you figure out which ones you want to use first. So got your color negative film, black and white film, slide film, also known as transparency film or positive film. So we're just going to talk about each of these and the types of categories you have and like why you should use this if you were thinking about using it. So firstly we're going to go with your color negative film. The reason why it's called color negative is because it gives you a negative. Now there's such things as positives, which we'll get to when we talk about slide film. With color negative, it's usually processed in a development process called C41. Color negative film is a very forgiving film. It's a great film for beginners because you can accidentally underexpose it one stop or overexpose it 1, 2, 3 stops, and it usually ends up looking fine and usable. And it's definitely handy in that way. Now some films like slide film can get developed in C41, which is called cross processing, which will get you a negative instead of a positive out of the film, and often the colors go a bit wacky as well. For the moment there's kind of like 3 main color negative films that you can get. So there's your normal one, which is like your portraits, your Kodak Golds, your Fuji Superiors. But then you also have motion picture film, which obviously you can use to shoot movies, but you can also use to shoot stills, and they often require a different kind of processing, which is ECN2, which you kind of do at home. There's some specialty labs that do it, but you can also get it developed in C41, which is technically cross processing, and there's not too much of a difference. Like maybe it's not as flat, and maybe the colors just a little bit shifted depending on how it's scanned compared to how it would look when it's done in ECN2. But Cinestill is a film company that's been removing the remjet layer off it so you can shoot it and get it developed by your normal lab. Most of the time motion picture film has a remjet layer, which one thing I want you to be sure of: if you're shooting any Vision 3 film stock, any cinema film that doesn't have the remjet removed, find a specialty lab or develop it yourself, because if you do send that to a lab without telling them that it's motion picture film and they accidentally develop it, it will ruin the chemicals and any other rolls that are being done at the same time in those same chemicals. So please be aware of that. Please be considerate. Third type of C41 or color negative film you have is kind of the specialty films. And so basically these are your kind of normal film stocks, but they're made to look a bit wacky. They're designed like Lemo Chrome Purple was kind of inspired by Aerochrome, which we'll talk about when we talk about slide film, but it's still very different from that. But it does give you like these weird wacky colors. Lomography has been doing that quite a bit, but you also have companies like Revolog and Yodica that are kind of pre-flashing films and adding weird stuff to it that make them kind of wacky and weird and different. You also have companies like Rolly, and there's other companies that kind of load the film backwards, and so you're exposing the back side of it, which kind of creates a really kind of red and different kind of look. Rolly has Rolly Redbird, which does this, but there's other companies that do it as well. And so these specialty films, if you're wanting something more unpredictable and different, you can definitely have a play with, and you can definitely get some fun results out of it, though I will say just don't expect perfection. So those are your main color negative films, and so now we're going to be talking about black and white. If you want to focus more on contrast and composition, black and white film's a good film for that, because you just got to think about the lighting and the frame. I like shooting black and white as well. I don't shoot it as much because I do like color a bit more. There is also 3 different types of black and white film. The first one is your panchromatic film. So panchromatic is the most common film you'll see. Usually when films have pan in the name, that means they're panchromatic. But you can kind of assume most black and white film you get is, and basically it sees all kind of colors of light, and yeah, it gives you more of a normalized look. You can also get black and white cinema film because there's still movies being shot on that Kodak XX, and there's a lot of places that are bulk loading rolls. A few companies that do it. Cinestill's one with their black and white XX. The main film lab I use, Ikigai Camera, they also do it as well with the film photography project also. And because it's black and white, you don't have to worry about the remjet in the same way you do with color film. And so the next type of black and white film we have is orthochromatic film. And now orthochromatic film was actually the first type of black and white film in existence. It's just not in use as much today. And the main difference is because it doesn't read the red light. It reads more the blue and the green. And so it kind of does have a very different look, especially when it comes to people's skin. And if you've ever seen black and white shot where the freckles are really popping, it's orthochromatic film. And stuff like wet plate, silver plate, daguerreotypes, and all that kind of stuff, it's an orthochromatic film kind of emulsion. Ilford recently released their kind of orthochromatic film, which used to exist, but now they've kind of brought it back. And lastly, we have infrared black and white film. So this is Washi S, which is a sound recording film, but it has a lot of infrared film qualities to it. Kind of like your orthochromatic film, reads different spectrums of light. And a cool thing you can do with infrared films, you can also do this with black and white films in general to kind of adjust the contrast and whatnot, but you can use color filters on it, like red, orange, and yellow are the main ones you can kind of play with. And so that if you don't want to filtrate with your film stocks because you lose light, you can shoot an infrared film and it'll give you more of that unique kind of look. And we're going to move on to slide film. So slide film, or color reversal film, or positive film, or transparency film is a film stock that kind of brings out a positive. But color positive film, you see it all there. The color's there on the film right there in front of your eyes, which when you pick up your first roll of slides is awesome. And especially if you shoot medium format slides are amazing to look at. It usually is on the slower side, usually at 100 or 50 ISO. There were some faster variations in the past, like E200, which was designed to get pushed 2 stops to E800. You also had Prigida 400X. Benefits of it is that you're going to get a lot of color saturation, you get to look at cool transparencies, but it is a slower speed film and it's a less forgiving film. So you have a limited dynamic range and latitude, and usually you'll lose a lot of information in the shadows if you underexpose it slightly, and you will lose a lot of information in the highlights if you overexpose it a bit. But me in particular, I love slide film because I love color, I love the saturation of it, and some of my favorite films as slide films. But lastly, we'll talk about infrared slide films. So we have aerochrome, which I do have a few rolls left, but they're in the freezer, so I don't have it to show you here. Because of the way it reads light and the colors that kind of produces, all vegetation turns out either like a pink or a red or even a purple color, depending on how you filter it. Now, to be able to get an image out of this, you do need to use color filters, and the ones that people use are red, orange, and yellow. I myself have played around with the yellow and the orange. The yellow kind of gives the vegetation more of a pink look, the orange more of a red look, and I believe the red gives it more of a purple look. And I think this is definitely one of the coolest films out there. Unfortunately, it's not made anymore. The last 2 rolls expired in 2009, 10, 12, I think. I've got a few rolls, I've shot 2 already, and here's some of the results. And it's a really unique, different kind of film. This is what Lomography Purple is kind of trying to copy, but not so much successfully, though it does have a cool look of its own. And so that is a breakdown of all the types of film stocks that are out there at the moment, and sometimes previously in the past. But I hope this video was informative, and I hope you give a lot of these films a go, because that's kind of been my fun with my YouTube channel, is trying out so many different types of films and just seeing how they look and what I can use them for in the future. So I hope this video has helped you out, and I hope you try something new as well. But yeah, let me know if this was helpful and informative, and if you want more videos like this, I can definitely do some more. And let me know any other video suggestions you have for snapshots, because I just want to know all your kind of beginner questions, and hopefully I can help you out with them as well. So comment below, guys. Hope you like the video. Please like and subscribe, and there's post notifications so you know when there's a new episode. Anyway, I'm Josh. This has been Snapshots. Just get out there, shoot.